Bad agencies are taking advantage of you. I know that sounds pretty dramatic, but this really sticks in my craw on some of the practices that we've run into in starting a new relationship with a customer, and just the way some agencies choose to handle that transition. And it's not to put the idea out there that every competitor is this way. It's not. Overall, there's plenty of good players in the space, but I truly want to bring awareness on some of these practices that go against the Google third-party advertising policy. And I just think the more information that's out there, the better that will be for everybody, especially, most importantly, our clients. Something we've seen come up more times than even makes sense. I want to bring attention to one advertiser per account. Having a separate account for each end advertiser. That means for each client that an agency might have, there should be a separate account. And more importantly, they should really own it. But we'll get into that. It's essential to maintaining the integrity of Google Ads quality score. Just to spell that out, this, by having multiple clients in one account, impacts your cost per click and your any kind of advantage you might have in the auction. Additionally, we'll only show one ad per account for a particular keyword. So mixing advertisers in one account could unfairly limit ad serving for those advertisers. For these reasons, we require that you use separate accounts for each end advertiser that you manage. I mean, it couldn't be more black and white, yet we're still running into situations where a new client is not able to get their account because it's tied into an all-in-one managed account like this. So it's wrong. Make sure you're not in that position. So scrolling up a bit, this is related. Google Ads or AdWords Express customer IDs. It's important for advertisers to have the ability to connect with Google directly with concerns about their third-party partner or agency, to allow Google to properly investigate and assist the advertiser, meaning the customer. We require that you provide your customers with the customer ID for their Google Ads or AdWords Express accounts when requested. So we've even seen scenarios where this just wasn't being provided, and it's in black and white that it should be. It will help you. Obviously, it would be best if you could prevent the situation altogether, but in the event that you are not the owner of your account, but there is an account being managed on your behalf, if you're able to get that ID, it will help you escalate the issue with Google. And hopefully, we haven't seen this be the case every time, but hopefully allow you to gain ownership of your account. Also, it's worth noting, we've seen the case being made when they're using your credit card. So if it's the customer's credit card that's on the account, that helps the case in you gaining ownership. But again, better to not worry about this and start out with ownership of the Google account out of the gate and prevent this whole issue. This brings us to harassing, abusive, or untrustworthy behavior. The main thing that I want to highlight here, even though it's all important, is putting undue pressure on an advertiser. Again, I have to emphasize that means the client, to sign up or stay with your agency. So we've seen where clients are being essentially held hostage, where accounts are being held, assets are being held, even leads in some cases are being held. And at minimum, the Google account and everything inside it should be transferable and really owned by the end client that's paying for the advertising. So if you run into this and you see, first of all, I would suggest you get ahead of this, or I would stop right now and find out what information you have on the account. Do you have the customer ID? Are you an owner on the account? And if there's a situation where you're not, or you're even looking to part ways with a current agency and you're running into this issue where they are holding it hostage, there is a place where you can report a violation and make a submission to Google directly to help sort this out. This is something that I would be happy to guide you through. No strings attached, just a good player in the space to help kind of combat some of these just unsavory practices, to say the least. If you're going into a new arrangement or a new agreement with an agency, make sure this is understood as you're reading the contracts. It's a major red flag if you're not going to own your Google accounts at minimum. But I would even argue any assets that's made, what's an agency going to do with your assets or your creative materials? It's not that they're going to reuse it for somebody else. It's really just to hold, to keep you from leaving, where really the thing that should keep you from leaving would be that they're doing an excellent job, both in performance, in service, aligning with your goals and objectives, not because they've put you in a position where you can't leave. Not going to mention the specific agencies that we run into here. I feel that would be in poor form. But if there's anything you'd want to run by me, I'll always shoot with you straight. I'll tell you who I don't know. I'll tell you who the good players are. And if you're going down a path that concerns me, you can count on that I'll speak up. All right. Take care.